Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Don here. What I'm going to go over today are a few things that I've kind of learned and played around with this week. So let me just kind of open up my slides here and get here and show you. So I'm going to go over a tech list. As we've been going through this tech list it seems like forever, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I use Google Slides. We'll talk about this combo I have here, email, blog, and YouTube, writing copy, which is copywriting. Kind of more insights from this book. I did an interview with Stormy and started a Podiatry Practice Mastery, kind of a mastermind, asynchronous via WhatsApp, and started helping others using patient presentations, which is kind of new as well. And then we talked about one things that didn't work are these boundary things here. Kind of for a virtual mastermind, which kind of bugs me on the weekend. I don't like to do anything on the weekend. So I'm learning to set up better boundaries for that. And then Facebook ads, I learned that there was something I didn't know, and I'll talk more about it next week. So let's get right into it. This is something I learned recently. I was doing something with Paul Wright, and he had these questions here. I don't know if you can read these, but basically it says, have you been seen by another, we could say podiatrist before? If yes, is there not anything you weren't happy about? What aspects were you most happy? And what are the two things you'd like to achieve by today's treatment? And why is it important that you get rid of the injury as soon as possible? I like this idea. This was my favorite part of his patient intake form. And I included this in my new patient presentation. So this is what I do with new patients when they come in. If you look up here under my patient presentation tab, and you can see here, welcome to Central Massachusetts Podiatry. One of my slides on there is this. It's the first questions, like how did you hear about us? Have you seen another provider? Anything you're not happy about, what you're most happy about, and what are the two main things you'd like to accomplish by the end of today's visits, and why is it important that we get rid of it as soon as possible? I think these are some power questions that when we go through them with our patients during this new patient interaction, it helps to solidify kind of what we're doing. So this is the way I kind of always think about things. I like to take something that's working for someone else and I include it in here. Another thing that I included, let me just pull this up here to show you guys. If you can see here, these are the actual slides that I go through. I pull them up with patients. Welcome to Central Mass Podiatry. I show them a little bit about my family, a little bit about the other doctors here, my welcome packet, and I say I'm going to send you a copy, board certification stuff to build confidence, my commitment to them. I learned this from Patty. So my commitment to you, and then your commitment to me. And the key here is refer to other people of comparable quality and give an online review. So that's the key for this thing that I use. Wanted to talk a little bit about, I was asked to do a talk recently about DME, and these are some commonly used prefab AFO categories you might want to consider. And on in-office dispensing on day 20 of the 30-day practice blueprint, you can find more about all of the in-office dispensing stuff that I use. I don't use all of the stuff, but I use a lot of these and kind of when you can use them. One thing to be aware of, if you're doing these and they're on Medicare, a lot of times they're same and similar. So you have to be careful what you're getting patients, right? You have to determine, is it better for me to do an ankle brace, or is it better for me to do an AFO? If they're really going to need a custom AFO, it's better to do that because it's not going to be accepted if it's for the same diagnosis. Like, for example, posterior tibial tendon dysfunction, it's better to do a custom AFO than it is to do a non-custom ankle brace. Make sense? Because there's a 5-year window now. Another thing I put here is some same and similar wording. So this is something that's key for you, that if you deal with this is from my medical record. And I do have all of my documentation within the 30-day practice blueprint if you guys want those. The patient was evaluated today for, plantar fasciitis or posterior tibial tendon dysfunction, and it was deemed medical necessary for, let's say, a custom AFO due to tendon dysfunction. This condition is new and unrelated to the previous plantar fasciitis or Achilles tendonitis where they were treated with a cam boot. So that's the way you get around using the same durable medical equipment thing for a different diagnosis. Here's an example that I got from John Moore, from Jonathan Moore. He talked about this. This is anticipating same or similar denial. Patient received a pneumatic walker. on 1/5 for a stress fracture of the right second met. He now has a painful ankle in the right secondary due to chronic osteo-OCD. First diagnosed a year ago and confirmed by MRI. The joint requires stabilization. The patient now requires a custom AFO to stabilize for 6 months due to his atrophic skin and ischemia. So that's kind of a way to write it, and you document in your chart. Okay. The other thing we're going to talk about is my interview with this guy, Stormy Andrews. So you can watch that. This will be coming out shortly. If you want to watch the video, it'll be on the YouTube. So please subscribe there. Let me show you how I do my patient newsletter. I use something called Kajabi. And basically, this is a way I can send out newsletters. And so it's got extraordinarily better now that someone else is doing this. Patient newsletter, it pulls in their first name. So video newsletter for March 2020, skip the emergency room or urgent care for a loved one that twists your ankle, ingrown toenail, or any foot-related emergency. We have same-day appointments because we have another new doctor here trying to fill him up. In this newsletter, we're going to talk about circulation studies and our replay of our webinar. So we talk about all this stuff. If they want to watch the video, they can click here. Here's our beautiful faces. And here's a couple of things from the video. So basically, this is a portion from my partner, Dr. Feldman, a new baby picture here from Dr. Kellner. Watch the video. And this is an ad that we used in another publication called Community Advocates. We're including the same ad we're putting in newspapers here as well. Okay. Where does this go to? Well, it clicks. It used to go to YouTube. Now, my YouTube views were higher when it clicked there. Now it goes to this newsletter. Now, my only drawback is it has to have this big image here. And when you have the image, the video is right here. So people might not know to click this to watch it. Okay. I think that's the big down. When they goes to YouTube, they know to click the button, but they don't know to click this. And it has basically a replay of that. But what this does is it increases keyword search on our website under our blog section. Okay. And they would click it here. What I used to do is I used to have it go directly to my YouTube right here. And this is the YouTube for that same newsletter that we recorded. And some of the slides were included in that patient newsletter. Okay. So this is where it goes on YouTube. Couple of other things that I've been working on. One is reading this book on how to write copy that sells. Sorry. But this is, and we have the links here to the webinar. Why do I need a circulation study? And then Ziba shoes, which is a shoe that I was recommending. Okay. How to write copy that sells is this recent book that I'm reading right here. It's helpful if you want to learn. Here are my notes within my notebook that I use. And the big ideas here within this is I'm really wanting to learn how to write emails better and how to name things better so people look at them more. So I find that the better your headline is, the more people are going to read your stuff. So I have headlines, emails, bullet points, and the triad of irresistible offers. So as I'm reading or listening, I'm taking notes. So this is the way I kind of learn, and everything is here within my business notebook. Here's Stormy. Here's his website. Some more information about him. If you want to be interested in learning more, you can listen to the podcast. And then finally, this is that welcome thing, this welcome presentation. Anyway, that's what we got for this week within the Podiatry Practice Mastery Weekly Update. Please, if you haven't joined the 30-Day Practice Blueprint, some of these resources are in there. Listen to the interview with Stormy. I forgot to mention a few things, guys. I did start this Podiatry Practice Mastery Mastermind, and we're doing it via WhatsApp. It's not really taken off yet, so I'm trying this out to see what it's like. We're chatting, sharing ideas. But what I like about it is it's asynchronous, so we don't need actual time together every week. We can just share what's working for us. I started helping a few others using patient presentations. What I found is that it works really well for me, all these presentations, but I need some other people to try it. So I offered it to those that had shown more interested in my stuff within Podiatry Practice Mastery. And I have 2 people that I'm kind of working through for them to actually use it, because I want to see if it's not just a good idea in my head, whether other people like it as well. Also, this boundary thing I talked about, when it shows up on WhatsApp, I look at other things on WhatsApp as well. So I'm trying to avoid it on the weekend. I just let it kind of build up. And then Facebook ads, I'm going to talk more about it. Someone showed me how to do and look at other people's Facebook ads. So I'll show you guys that next week. It's via Meta. So you can just basically look on Podiatrist and you can see other people's ads, how much they're spending on them, and kind of what it's working on. So we'll go over more of that next week. Okay, guys.